In the past 5 decades, the Church has seen an unprecedented growth of global Christian missions. The graph took a peak at the end of the 20th century for the Church of the Southern Hemisphere. The era coincides with the growth in missionary enlistment. Today, those young singles that quick-started the process have become parents with college-level children. As the Church sends these missionaries to every nook and cranny of the world, another challenge has been observed, emerging around the families of these obedient missionaries. Even for those who did homeschooling, as the years go by, the children can no longer be homeschooled. At a point, they must enroll into a college somewhere. But who pays for their college education?
I was wondering where I could get money to see my son through a private university.
Many students do struggle to pay, school fees and then all the extra expenses on top of that. Buying textbooks, making copies of projects and papers and those kinds of things.
But the children of missionaries have every right to good and quality education, like their parents. This is the concern of the Missionary Kids Education Trust, MKTF, Missionary Kids Trust Fund.
The missionary support levels are generally very low, and this tends to go into the mission fields themselves. The missionaries now find themselves not being able to support their immediate family, especially quality education for their children. And that's the area where we are focusing on, to take the burden of sponsorship of their children away from them, especially at a higher level where these things get more expensive.
Missionary Kids Trust Fund, MKTF, fostered by Calvary Ministries, exists firstly to provide funding primarily for the education of missionary children of the organization and others eventually. Secondly, to make investments that will ensure the sustenance of the above. Thirdly, to administer non-monetary gifts such as room and board, textbooks, and provide tuition scholarships to deserving missionary kids. And fourthly, to source for scholarships available in institutions around the world. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? Romans 10:14.
I am a beneficiary of the Missionary Kids Trust Fund.
I went through Babcock University, and I must confess that I'm really glad and excited that the Missionary Kids Trust Fund came along.
When I graduated from secondary school, which is also called high school, I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would attend a private university because of its implication financially.
I realized that my parents were full-time missionaries. Where would I have gotten the funds to provide my school fees to university, not talk about going to a private school? And I also lost my dad at a very young and tender age.
For a while, I worried about how I would be able, or my parents will be able to pay for my tuition because it's really, really, really expensive. And as God will have it, MKTF came up, and that's the Missionary Kids Trust Fund.
And it also came at a very unique time, because immediately when I finished secondary school and I was looking at what next for me in my life, that's when that same period the Missionary Kids Trust Fund came along.
And with the funds gotten from MKTF, I was able to pay for my tuition for the 4 years at which my course was going to last in the private university.
And maybe to have graduated on time.
Who knows what would have happened if the MKTF didn't come to my rescue.
We know that education is very important for improving development in society. And so anything we can do to improve education, particularly for people who are disadvantaged, they've lost a parent, or they don't have somebody to support them. I think setting up scholarships is a very valuable way of contributing.
I mean, we are happy that we have these children in school, but the future is that we want to build this fund to such a level whereby it assures the continuity of the program.
By the end of the 2014 academic session, MKTF board would have sponsored 28 children in various institutions. Plotting a 6-year scenario, by 2017, our projected financial needs will be about $185,000, and by 2020, it will rise to about $275,000.
Missionaries have given up everything for the sake of reaching the unreached peoples. Now their children are wondering, was this a wrong decision for their parents to make? You and I can make those children change their story. Be part of this trust fund. Your investment to support the studies of these children may indeed make them the generation that will bring back Jesus. We invite you and your company and your friends to give generously to see the missionaries' children become a generation that will be proud of their parents. God bless you.
Yield your financial resources to support the MKTF. Financial support could be in the following forms: one-time financial contribution, regular time-based financial contribution to the fund, gifts of stocks, bonds and real estate, financial equivalent for partial or full scholarship, and inclusion of MKTF in endowments, foundations and wills. In the USA and rest of the world, make checks payable to Calvary Ministries, Capro USA / Missionary Kids Education Trust Fund. In Nigeria, make checks payable to Missionary Kids Education Trust Fund / Calvary Ministries, Capro. Contact us today. Calvary Ministries, Capro, International Mobilization Office, 10 Turton Street, P.O. Box 196, Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. Email mktfng@capromissions.org or Calvary Ministries / Capro USA, 312 Marshall Avenue, STE 1010, Laurel MD 20707, USA. Telephone +1 301 497 9973. Email mktfusa@capromissions.org. For further information, visit www.mktf.org.